Good Tuesday morning. I'm meteorologist Byron Douglas. Thank you for joining us on our all streaming platform, our show. We'll have Mitch and Casey along in a moment. This is our final day of a heat advisory. And there's a chance this could be our final one for the entire season. A little early. We still have a ways to go in summer, but I'm going to show you about a couple pattern changes that will be taking place. But for today, that heat index about 105, could even go up as high as 110 as we go into the afternoon. And we're looking at some storms during the afternoon. We haven't had much rain. We've had less than 7/10. This has been the lone month of the year where precipitation's actually been below average overall. We'll have more on that in a bit. There's a look at that heat advisory, which we'll break down. I'll grab this full in a moment. Thanks for tuning in here on our platforms on Facebook. Good morning to you, Stevie, Michael, Melissa, also Cheyenne, Shelley, Jeff Miller and Savav. Bring on the rain. We'll have some chances out there in western stretches there of Posey County, Jeff. And Laura, down in Dawson Springs. I did have that right yesterday. It's the first day of school down in Dawson Springs. And there's a look at the advisory. It includes all of our counties. As I mentioned, the excessive heat warnings are to the south, but there's an opportunity. This is going to be our final one, perhaps, for the season. And we've had some years where our hottest days come in September, but out over the next few weeks, we're going to be trending below normal. This one will end at 7. If we get some storms going at 3, 4, 5 p.m., that could be dropped ahead of schedule. Let's take a look at the heat index. Up as high as 110, up a little bit from this morning, especially that 3, 4, 5 o'clock hour. We've had some questions. What does purple mean? Well, purple, you're in the danger zone. Keep in mind, girls, boys, cross-country teams out there, take plenty of breaks, or if you're working, delivering the mail this afternoon, spend some time there in the AC. As I mentioned, we're going to get a nice heat break, and I'll have more on that in my 7-day forecast. Not to be discounted here, we do have a level 1 threat for some minor flooding. We're not expecting widespread flooding, but we do have that level 1 threat. We talked a little bit about this yesterday across the area. And we'll talk about the severity of thunderstorms, and that risk is low as well. Aaron, they're making the evacuations. Now, yesterday at midday, it had winds at 140, and then back on Sunday, it had winds at 160. So it's down to a Cat 2 storm. It's a large storm, but it's headed towards the Outer Banks, and that's where they've made the evacuations. We had that on 14 News Sunrise, and then it's generally going to toggle between Bermuda and the Outer Banks there of North Carolina. The surf's going to be up there in Virginia, up to the northeast, but then by Saturday morning in the pre-dawn hours, a Cat 1 storm. So we know a lot of folks head to the Panhandle, Gulf Shores, the east coast of Florida. You guys are going to be fine. The storm generally going to be racing where it will dissipate in the colder waters there of the Atlantic. So that's encouraging, even though if in the Outer Banks and you have vacation concerns there, you want to do the evacuations there in the Outer Banks. So that traffic was up there yesterday, but folks there will give you a heads up if you're headed there. All the lightning's been north of Terre Haute this morning, and then north of Indianapolis, and then we've had some showers up towards Fort Wayne. That's part of the front that's going to draw a little bit closer as we go into the afternoon hours, and we'll give you a timeline here in a moment. And got some showers up in Michigan. I don't see anything in the way of severe weather, Lake Michigan, and then as you get up towards Alpena and Lake Huron and those locations. Almanac page headed for 96, 1936. Well, that was a sweltering summer. Indiana had the state record that was set up in Rensselaer, but that was back in July. 8 days greater than 100 in 1936, 50 in 1943. If you want to feel cooler, we had a minimum high temperature of only 67 degrees in 1915. 1915 was interesting because after the 17th, we never had a day above 85 during the month of August. All right, let's take a look at the scorecards. Since the 6th, we've been above 90, had 94 yesterday, between about 94 and 97 this afternoon, and then the next few days. I mean, we'll be close to 90 tomorrow, but we'll be pushing temps below the average. And only 6700ths in the rain gauge, lots of zeros. And that 5100ths on the 12th, not everybody across the viewing area saw rain. Let's run down our current temps. They look like this. 81 in Evansville, Madisonville at 80. We had a little bit of fog this morning down in Hopkins and Muhlenberg County. And the Monkey meter is all morning. The dew point's been at 72. I'll grab this full here and see if we've had any other comments come in. All right. Yes, Chris is working in the concrete. Kudos there, melting in the concrete. You'll have some easing soon. Kim, Jacqueline, Grace, thanks for tuning in. Look at this. Well, I'm going to be on stage when we have an outlook that goes below normal. Now, this is from the Climate Prediction Center. Again, this is an outlook, not a locked-in forecast, but it's been a while since we had a sea of blue. I think the last time we had blue across the board, remember that first 6 or 7 days in June, we were well underneath the average. And this is going to continue all the way down south of Atlanta, and then the heat will be out west. So we're going to have a big dip there in the jet stream. And then I think I loaded up, let's see if we go forward here. Yes, I pushed it up to the 2nd of September. These are classified as the 8 and 14-day outlooks. There we're trending below average. And we're going to have some mornings next week in the 50s, even some lower 50s. More on that in a moment. All right, let's do hour by hour. I think this is the best way to tell the story. There's chances for showers and storms will build. I included overall 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms. So hopefully we pay off for a little bit of rain. Here's the latest guidance just updated as we go forward. This takes us to 4 or 5 in the afternoon now. Showers and storms could fire anywhere, but the timing is generally this evening as we draw closer to nightfall. Then even a line there where you see some modes there of thunderstorms where you can't rule out a few severe thunderstorms. We're not looking at a hail or a tornado threat. It would be some brief damaging winds, and sometimes the downdrafts from the thunderstorms can produce some damage. There is the risk, isolated, severe. We're not included in a tornado or a large hail. This is generally not a hail season, even though eventually we'll be dealing with some cooler air aloft. And then as we go into Wednesday, a few showers. I think the best chance will be during the morning. That first day after you've had a mini heat wave, it still will be humid tomorrow. And then we'll notice the lower humidity on Thursday, but probably not going to field a ton of complaints. Let's go into Saturday. Another cold front's going to work through on Sunday. That's really going to drop our temperatures as the winds will be working off the Great Lakes. Still humid on Wednesday with an 87, 85 on Thursday. It will be breezy with some lower humidity. Real nice day Thursday. Friday at 86, Sunday at 84, and look at these low temps. Maybe you missed them, but Monday morning at 57, and then next Tuesday morning, lows into the lower 50s. You can't rule out some of the outlying areas could drop into the upper 40s. So you can see that below our banner there. So there's a look at the 7-day forecast. As I mentioned, Mitch and Casey will be along in a moment. See if any other comments came in. And again, if you're working outdoors, take it easy out there. Just one final day to get through, and then we'll have a nice break. All right, Mitch and Casey are in there. They're just loading up some news right now. It's like a hockey game. We're going to make a shift here as we work in, and we'll have a look at the news, and we'll talk to you soon.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Well, good morning, and thanks for joining us here for the news portion of the 8:30 Stream Show. I'm Mitch Carter.
I'm Casey Mason. Yeah, we appreciate you tagging along here. You know, Byron breaking things down here on our alert day. It's obviously a hot one out there. Of course, we've talked about that plenty this morning and kind of keeping you guys up to date here on everything. So we want to go ahead and start off today. One of our recap stories is just to remind you about this useful tool out there. Of course, it is our alert day app here. Thank you, Mitch Carter, pulling that up for me. Just to stay up to date on everything, you can actually download this. I did this when I actually first started working out here, and I thought, well, this is a useful tool. But yeah, it's the free First Alert weather app. There's a QR code there on your screen. So, of course, if you're watching this right now from your device, you can always screenshot that and take a picture from another person's phone. Or here's a simple tip. You can also just search 14 First Alert in your app store. Do that today. It'll kind of help keep you up to date because though the alert is going to fade off this evening, of course, we will always have, weather advisories here in the area, and it's just a great way to stay up to date and give you just that extra peace of mind.
Absolutely. And, speaking of all that hot weather out there, it is fortunate here. I know Byron talked about it. You don't want to say, never say never, but hopefully this is our last heat alert of the year if all things kind of hold true here. And as summer winds down, the fall semester officially started over at USI.
That's right.
Yesterday was the first day of classes there for the Screaming Eagles. Different vendors were set up across campus there to offer directions and more information about campus organizations and activities. Campus leaders also handed out free ice cream to welcome students back to USI. And one student we talked to says they're excited to get the semester started.
It's exciting. We have a couple classes together too, so I've enjoyed the time I've been here before, a couple of years obviously, but it's fun to have it with family again because I was doing classes with him in middle and high school, so it's good to be back with someone I'm close with.
You see the resemblance there between who are clearly brothers there.
That's so true. I did not notice that. Just
Yeah,
now.
we didn't talk about it this morning, but those guys are clearly related. Welcome Week activities continue for new students this week with cookouts, game nights, and more. Plus, there's a new student assembly next Monday coming up here on the 25th.
I was actually at Target yesterday in the back to school section, and I saw these two girls that were obviously twins walking through, buying some college school supplies there. So anyways, yeah, hey,
It's always
ironic.
nice.
There you go. Yeah, of course, we have been recapping a lot of back to school stories here on 14 News. We are your back to school headquarters. I love
what we
saying
say,
that.
yeah.
So yeah, we have a couple schools that are going to be heading back next week as well. Not everybody's back in class yet. I think a reminder, I had a viewer email us, McLean County, they start on the 27th. So we still have some folks out there enjoying that last bit of summer, and they are definitely getting summer
Yes,
here
they are.
with the summer heat. So hey, maybe it's a little too hot for you outside. Here's something you can do this weekend. Check it out here. Looking for a perfect night out? Well, Showplace Cinemas. This is a really sweet deal, if you ask me. We talked about that this morning on Sunrise. Showplace Cinemas. They have you covered with their special. It's called Date Night at the Movies deal. It's taking place this weekend. It's going to be Friday, and tickets at all locations are going to be, get this, Mitch, buy one, get one absolutely free. That is quite the deal. And again, you can just be in the air conditioning if you'd like for
That's
this.
what it's all about.
So same deal also goes for all popcorn and drinks as well. You just have to make sure though that your tickets are for the same movie and that your snacks are the same size. And officials just say that the tickets have to be purchased there at the box office if you want to enjoy this event. So maybe something, like I said, you can do, stay out of the heat, enjoy a good movie. Seen any good movies lately?
I was going to say, that's kind of a crazy deal. Like, if you're getting
really
snacks,
is.
that's like $40 you're saving. That's unbelievable if you're getting
Yeah.
popcorn and candy and whatever. So very cool there. Maybe go enjoy that. I have not really been watching a ton. I've been a big documentary guy lately.
Oh,
Been all over that. Yeah, on the stream services. I haven't been to the movies in a long time. I'd love to go back though. I might have to
Yeah.
make a stop Friday.
I know it's wild. I hadn't been to the theater in a couple years, and then I finally went a couple months ago to take my daughter to see Moana 2.
Nice.
And I had no idea how much they have done at movies. Like, you can assign your seat ahead of time, which is wild to me, and they recline now. It's wild.
It's very fancy.
Technology,
Yes,
crazy.
very comfortable theaters.
Speaking of movies, nice little transition I'm going to do here for a shameless plug. We
Yeah.
have a new podcast here at 14 News where my dear friend and our coworker, Aaron Weeks, we all love Aaron. That's right. Round of applause. Thank you, Byron. That's right. Let me hear it for this great new show we're bringing you. It's called What's the Trend? We release a new episode every Friday. You've even listened to
I've
one
seen it.
already.
I've
You
seen
are
it.
a good man and friend. Thank you.
not bad.
Byron, have you listened yet? Briefly. Okay, I'll give you some more time. You're allowed, but report back next week. I want a full summary on what you think. Just kidding. So 14 News, What's the Trend? Of course, we have Jeff Lyons Inside Look podcast, but Aaron and I, we just break things down, all things pop culture
Yep.
from movies, music, and sports. So how are we doing on the sports side of things?
Fine.
We're doing
Yeah,
our
hanging
best.
in
We
there.
may bring you in as a special
Well,
guest here
I know
soon.
the NFL's starting now and college football and all that. I know those are kind of the
Yeah.
big kickers in the fall, but of course all kinds of sports and even the local level here. I know our sports crew's been very busy with football, bands, all that stuff going on here with the fall. So very exciting stuff.
Yeah.
This start of the year is a good deal for the school season. Fall's great. Everyone loves fall.
I love that story we ran yesterday about the Princeton Fire Department. Like they had like water on the marching band helping cool them off, and I thought, well, that was nice of them to do. We've seen a couple stories like that this summer, but of course, all these fall sports, it will start to cool off out there. Just hang in there. Summer is coming to an end.
Thankfully.
So, anyways, that's all we got for you today.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add on this Tuesday?
I think I'm good. Right now it is 8:45 here, quarter till 9. I think we're gonna wrap this up here. But you guys, please enjoy yourselves out there. Of course, be safe with the first alert day here with the heat, potential storms out there, and of course we'll be back here for more weather and news at 11 and 12. Stream show at 2:30 before evening shows tonight. But as for us, we're getting out of here. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Please enjoy your Tuesday and take care.
See ya.